Hi, my name's Robert Lipnick, and I'm the artist who created the show that's in front of you. The name of the show is Mountains, Faces, Stories, and Stacks, and within this show are all elements that are within the title of the exhibit. You're standing right in front of the show. The curator and I initially wanted the show to have sort of a frontal quality so that when you walked into the show you could see the whole exhibit. As we continued designing it, we also wanted it to work from a variety of angles, which you won't be able to see exactly, but hopefully you'll be able to come into the show after this introduction to see the show. So when you walk in the show, you see a variety of different works. Most of this work, certainly the central element of this exhibit, I made in the last year and a half. It's meant to all go together. It can go together in a variety of different sorts of arrangements, but this was the arrangement that we picked for this exhibit. In addition, there are other collections in this room. So, anyway, so here we are. Nice to see you. I'm going to talk a little bit about the work itself, the work that's in this central sort of area. And like I said, that this work was mostly created in the last year and a half, and it was really created with this room in mind. It was created for this exhibit. It's works that I have done similar things in the past, but it is work that was made really especially for this show. As I mentioned, that I see these works, and I'll talk about the work on the right here, as one sort of grouping, okay? And this grouping I call Mountains in Iowa. And I've been making mountains in Iowa for a while, and when I moved to Iowa, I thought one thing that it needed were mountains. So I started making this form. But the form to me resonated in a variety of different ways. It resonated as a mountain. When I was doing my Judaica collection, it also resonated as a sort of spiritual sort of mountain form also. When I first started making it, it reminded me of a bishop's hat. It also reminded me of sort of a Ten Commandment, one side of the Ten Commandment. So it had a number of different resonances for me, and I also liked the way the works worked as individuals, but also as they worked as a group, because usually you see a mountain in a group, not just one mountain. So I like visually when you walk around these pieces, the way they can slip and slide between each other, the way they sort of move, the spacing between them. So important to this work, as I think is important to a lot of sculpture, is not the piece itself, but also the space around the piece. These are all, and I'm going to say decorated or painted or really decorated in each individual way so that they have a very individual quality to them. So that's this side of the piece, Mountains in Iowa. And on this side is also another sort of arrangement using these sort of elongated cube forms, these, again, mountains. The platters, which when I got in here, I started to see almost as kind of lake forms. And we put this together in this particular way, again, so that they work from a variety of different angles, different spaces, and to make an arrangement that can operate as individual works, one work alone, or can work as assemblages. And that's really the way that I like to see them. When I think of the whole show together, I think of the whole show really as an assemblage. Even the pieces that I made at different times over the years, I see them still fitting in together with this group. One of the things that I have going, I think, is you might call, or I think they have been called, sort of abstract forms. but also within the exhibit I have quite a bit of realistic sorts of forms. And I have that represented here by this sculpture here. I have these big face plates here. I have some paintings, this one being of my wife Barb, figurative sort of paintings. And I like that complement or that contrast between the abstract and the realistic. And when I think about it, I think, you know, the realistic is about the here and the now, okay, reality. But the abstract for me is more about the spiritual. And so I like that complement between those two elements, realistic and abstract, which you see represented in a variety of different ways within this exhibit. Anyway, there are a number of different collections here. There's the Judaica work, there are tiles that I made, there are some hand-built vessels, there's some individual sort of sculptures as well, and paintings. So I wanted to give you here a taste of the show, a little bit of an introduction, and I hope you come down to see it